These are the 3 moves that you never want to lose. And this is so important because as we grow older, we start to lose the ability to do things like stand up from a chair, walk up and down stairs, etc. So we want to maintain a certain degree of strength and flexibility in our lower body and our upper body so we can do the things we want to do with our life. Because that's what we're all about at WeShape, learning how to move your body better so that you feel better in your body so you can have as much movement freedom as possible for as long as possible. All right, the first move I want to show you is a very simple one called the reverse lunge. Now for some people, if you can't do this, I'm going to show you a beginner variation after this, but this is important because the reverse lunge really strengthens your legs on both sides of your body, right? Helping you to do things like go upstairs, go on big hikes, etc. Things like that. So to do the reverse lunge, make sure that you're stepping your foot back, you're having space between the feet. As you come down, your knees go in the same direction as your toe. It's not caving in like this. And this is where I differ from some people. Some people say keep your torso upright, which puts a ton of pressure on the back, quad, and knee. Instead, I want this to be a front leg movement primarily. So about 70% of the work through the front leg. So we want to allow ourselves to bow forward, load the glute and the hamstring, come down, tap the knee, and as we stand up, we want to load the glute and hamstring almost like we're trying to go this direction. Because again, why this move is so important is because it's the same thing as going upstairs, walking up hills, etc. So make sure you maintain the reverse lunge. If you can't do a reverse lunge though, what you can do is grab a chair, grab the back side of the chair, use it for support, and then basically step backwards like this, come down halfway, quarter way, whatever you need, and start feeling what it feels like to get that hip extension that we're talking about, right? So practicing the motion with a chair for support, only going halfway down is fantastic, and over time, increasing the range of motion so that you're able to do the full movement. All right, the next move you want to be able to maintain is the frog deadlift. Now this is really important because the moment I drop something on the ground is the moment I start to round my back to pick it up like this because I have tight hamstrings, tight hips, and then I go, and I end up hurting my lower back. So the frog deadlift is essential because it teaches you good form in picking stuff up off the ground. So how do we do this? Nice wide stance, toes turned outward, knees go in the same direction as the toes. From there, instead of initiating through the knees or through the back like this, we want to start the motion by pushing our butt back like this and putting the weight on our heels. The more we push our butt back and put the weight on our heels, the more we load through the hips and we take the pressure off the lower back. Now, once you get to a place where you start to feel like you're going to round your lower back, bend your knees, grab whatever you're picking up off the floor and stand back up. So this movement, super simple movement to practice, the frog deadlift. Really simple, okay? If you can't do this depth that I'm doing right here without rounding your back, that's totally fine too. Start by starting in a good stance and then just coming down and tapping your knees and standing back up. And if that feels comfortable, put your palms below your knees and stand back up. And then work your fingertips down to your ankles and stand back up. And over time, gradually work up to being able to touch the ground with your fingertips while keeping your lower back nice and flat, all right? So that's another one that you want to keep because it's this fundamental movement for being able to pick stuff up off the ground, okay? The last one is going to be the low chair tabletop, all right? Now this one isn't a movement you're going to be doing so much in daily life, but it's a movement that helps you reverse sitting. And this is such a huge issue. We find that when people sit all day long, what happens? Their shoulders round in, their hips round in, everything kind of goes into this fetal position, okay? And so by doing this one move every single day, you're gonna open everything back up and you're gonna stretch and strengthen your body in a way that helps improve your posture, which ultimately is gonna make your body feel a whole lot better. So come to the edge of a chair with your butt, take your hands, turn your fingertips to the outside, bring them behind you, and the starting point for this is just pulling the shoulder blades back, dropping the shoulder away from the ears, and lifting the chest toward the sky. If this is all you can do, that's totally fine. If you can do this though, lift the hips up, squeeze the glute muscles, and see how far you can lift your hips while maintaining pulling your shoulder blades back and down the entire time. You can hold for a second, or you can come down and back up and do repetitions like this. But this is another movement that if we maintain it for a long period of time, it's gonna help us stretch and strengthen all the muscles that support our posture, making our body feel so much better. Now these moves are great, but the best thing for you to do is to know the best moves for you. And the good news is I'm teaching a masterclass called the Best Moves for You Masterclass, which is coming up very soon. If you wanna check that out for free, all you gotta do is sign up before we start. Click the link below.